The tale of the tape, Jon Jones vs Stipe Miocic. The fight has officially been announced for UFC 291 this November. A lot of questions arise just from this fight. Is Jon Jones gonna retire after this fight? Is Stipe Miocic still an elite fighter, and is this fight actually a mismatch for either fighter? Let's first start off with the possibility of Jon Jones retiring. We've seen quite a number of champions and stars in the UFC retire when they're on a high and retire when they're on a low, and sometimes it can be difficult to predict when a certain fighter will retire. For example, a decent amount of people thought Kamaru Usman was gonna call it quits but ended up saying this.
London, what you saying?
With all that's been said and done by Jones, will he actually call it quits? Because the man has a near-perfect record, has never officially lost, and is on a high right now. However, him taking 3 years to move to heavyweight may make him want to stay a bit longer in the division and see if he can dominate. Next question: if Stipe Miocic is still an elite contender. Stipe's last fight was against Francis, to which he got brutally knocked out in the second round. This fight was over 2 years ago and Stipe hasn't fought or been active since. Instead, it can be argued that he has been more of a fireman over those last 2 years than an actual fighter. Granted, his record before the Francis fight was not bad at all, but the man is also old. He is 40. Him being inactive, his age, the way his chin got rattled, and how he is going up against the GOAT makes you wonder, will he still be an elite contender against Jon Jones in this heavyweight title clash? Now let's talk about, is this fight a mismatch for either fighter? Jon Jones an all-time great, no doubt, but he is not in his prime, and neither is Miocic. This would have been a peak fight in 2018 to 2019. Maybe after Jones' suspension from the second DC fight. Seeing as this is Jones' first title defense, against arguably the UFC heavyweight GOAT and veteran, he may be at a disadvantage. However, this is also Miocic's first fight after 2 years of complete inactivity, after a devastating quota, which can change a fighter for the worst. It is safe to say both fighters are gonna have to go through adversity for this one, making the anticipation and fight all the more better. I believe win or lose after this fight, either will call it quits, and it'll definitely be a thrilling spectacle for fans and fighters. But what do you guys think about this fight, and who do you think is going to win between these two veterans?